guys! Welcome to Nature Check's Arda Campaign, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. Hi, I'm Sheryl. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the dungeon master for this campaign. It's episode 55. We've been doing this a while. I'm also a PhD candidate studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing my research, I'm also a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next, there's Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I am a horticulturalist, entomologist, native plant enthusiast in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I currently work in the medical cannabis field doing plant health care. And in our game, I play Fletcher, the human wizard, and we both use he, him pronouns.
Next, there's Nancy.
Hi everyone, my name is Nancy. I'm an entomologist, which means that I study bugs, and I live in Quito, Ecuador. And if you are interested in looking at all the beautiful insects, this beautiful country, you can come visit. I play a human-ish woman. She's a rogue. Her name is Kay, and our pronouns are she.
Back on that. Okay. Next, there's Peter.
Everyone, my name is Peter. I do agricultural entomology and horticulture as my job, and when I'm not doing that, I take pictures of things and I post those on the internet. And then when I'm not doing that, I play Dungeons and Dragons. Here, where I play Cedric, the dwarf cleric, everybody's favorite character, and both he and I use he, him pronouns.
And then there's Cindy.
That was shockingly coherent, Peter.
Ooh!
Been practicing.
You did it! I'm so proud of you. Hi, I'm Cindy, she, her. I'm a science enthusiast and quite an enduring engineer over on Heroes of Awesome, Constellation, on the Everything's Twitch and YouTube channels. Here, I'm playing Nautia, the water method druid, also she, her.
Cindy has decided that this evening Nautia is a trash-talking mermaid. You know that you can hang out with us in the Twitch chat. Use your channel points to help the PCs or create chaos, and you can check the reference section down below for the social media handles for the whole Nature Check cast, and a link to our Discord, where you should come and hang out, because I posted some updated teaser maps of all the places that our friends have gone, and also a terrible looking map of New Sechester, but it gives you the idea of the layout of the city. And you can also see our streaming schedule down there in the reference section. You also know that you can find the video recordings of our games on our YouTube channel and the audio versions on all podcast platforms. Yeah, we're everywhere, or we try to be everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on TikTok now.
Yeah, we're on the TikTok.
Oh, we are. I do the TikToks. I put up a video today.
Yeah, we're on the TikTok. All right, let's make some new content, friends. It's been almost 2 months since Fletcher, Cedric, and Kay set sail on the Guerre Lady and crossed the Coquerel River to land on the opposite shore where they met Nautia. While you'd promised to only be gone for a week, in the interim you've met myconids, gnolls, murium, goblins, thrycrenes, scorpion folk, and raptorans. You've overthrown a necromantic usurper, tangled with orcish religious fanatics, fought a morally reprehensible dwarf polluting the river, and pulled your friend's soul back from death. I'm sure you're exhausted, but you're not home yet. It is now mid-afternoon on Cordum, the 27th day of Brightrun, and you have sent Nautia flying across the river mouth with a hastily drawn map, some written instructions, and 2 letters. One for Captain Dawson Clark at the Tainibrian Naval Fort, and one for Kay's mother. I feel like we need to start with a description of what Nautia looks like as she's flying toward the harbor.
Okay, I've just been trying to visualize this for the last week, and every time it is hilarious and nonsensical. Yeah, she's staying a good bit above the water, like she's not like super skimming, but she's also really interested in not looking at all threatening.
Okay.
So I feel like, especially if the guards maybe caught sight of her before, she's gonna sort of make an effort to sort of wave in a friendly way as she passes them on the wall.
Okay.
she, I guess, will still have like her pack with her as usual, and her staff sort of tangled into it somehow in such a way that she doesn't have to hold it as she flies, but it also doesn't interfere with the wings. All of this is so complex. Again, the things I put way too much thought into, and what I've come up with, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, she's sort of flying out around the walls, not making an effort to not be seen. Like, she kind of wants to be seen, but wants to look non-threatening, and will sort of land, I guess, because you said that the entrance is actually sort of inland a little bit, right?
Yeah. So again, there's the fort is on this promontory of land, and then there's some stone wall of the city, and then there's this harbor, and then you would, like, if you didn't want to just, like, fly up and over the wall or fly into the fort from the backside, you would go in through the harbor and then kind of, like, make a left and go kind of northwest through the city a bit to get to the front door of the fort, which is what Kay drew for you on this map.
Okay, because she's definitely not gonna just, like, hop the walls, because I feel like that would not go over well. So, yeah, I guess she'll sort of come into the harbor, and I guess once there's land, like, she will land and sort of walk towards that entrance, and definitely, like, make a point of having the note out in her hand as she approaches the entrance.
Okay, so you are landing, like, on the docks in the harbor, or are you, like, flying through the city and landing somewhere in the city?
Probably either on the docks or, like, just, like the docks, like, that are right up on the land. So maybe not if there's something, like, sticking out, but, you know, sort of.
So, like, in the, like, the U of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you are following Kay's map, and you land on the docks in this sort of view of the harbor, and it is really kind of overwhelming. There are a lot of people, most of them taller than you by quite a bit, moving back and forth on the docks, carrying things, yelling. There are a lot of ships parked along the docks, and yeah, so there's just like a lot of noise and movement, a lot of different smells, because you haven't been in the city before, have you? You've seen it, but you haven't come here.
No, she sort of took one look and noped right back out of there because it was big and noisy and not like any of the other sort of bits of civilization that are scattered around that are much more like just a little bit of infrastructure and mostly sort of leave the land alone.
Yep.
So, yes, like that giant fuck-off wall has... that alone was just like, nah, I don't need to know what's going on in there.
Yeah.
So... yeah, if no one, like, stops her, she will continue walking toward that entrance.
Well, so as you land and there's all this hustle and bustle, because you've landed sort of, like, at the back of the curve, you wind up landing close to this little, like, kiosk might be the wrong word, but, like, a little stand on the docks, and there's a young-ish, sort of mild-looking human man standing at this kiosk writing on a piece of paper, and next to it is a person like your size, deep brown skin, reddish blonde hair, curly and just sort of escaping from whatever style she's trying to keep it in, pointy ears, and very sharp teeth, weirdly. And she sort of, like, looks up as you land and is like, what in the actual hell are you?
See, I was prepared for this. I'm just going to end up laughing through everything. Hi, I'm a water method. My name is Nautia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. A water method. What do you want?
I have a message for Captain Clark. And she's like reading it off Captain Clark and Kay's mom.
Captain Clark, like Captain Dawson Clark at the fort?
Yeah.
Okay. That I can help you with, I guess. You're really not here to cause mischief?
I promise I'm not. I know I can understand why you would think that. But my friends are from here, but they're stuck on the other side of the river because their boat, they had a boat, but then I think it got eaten, and then the thing that ate it tried to eat us. It pretended to be the boat. I don't know. We killed it, but it hurt a lot.
She listens to all of that with kind of a concerned, confused expression and says, "Did you say K?"
Yeah. We fixed the river.
She sort of like ruffles through some papers on the desk and is like, Hudson, keep an eye on everything. And she's gonna sort of like look at you and start marching off in a direction.
I will follow.
Okay. So she's a gnome, but I don't know if Nautia would know what a gnome
I was
is.
just thinking, I'm not sure she ever would have run across gnomes before.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
A big population here somewhere.
All right. So she leads you through to the city pretty wordlessly, but like if you're following her and not like next to her, she's gonna like pretty regularly check over her shoulder, kind of squinty at you as you walk. Are you doing anything? Or are you just following her?
I'm just following her and probably just looking around, slightly terrified.
Okay.
Sort of hanging onto the bag and the note and just like,
Yeah, totally. That's fine. Yeah, so she leads you away from the docks, and there are, as you move, there are not as many people on, like, the streets. Like, the docks is a very sort of, like, congested area, because it's the wooden docks themselves are not that wide, but there are a lot of people getting back and forth. But she leads you kind of through an area with some really big, like, boxy-looking buildings. And then through just a short passage through an area with like some small sort of roughly built buildings. And then you arrive at the big doors to what you assume is the fort, because it's this big stone structure again. Big wooden doors, 2 guards standing in front with like pikes. And this gnome woman turns to you and is like, "This is the place. Good luck." And she just like turns around and leaves.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I caught her name. Okay, and then I look at the guards and say hi.
So these 2 humans look at you and like one of them is like, "Hi?"
I have a message for Captain Clark.
Oh, sure.
And I like hold it out.
Yeah, I can take it if you want.
Okay, well, we need help. My friends are stuck over on the other side of the river, and so this is explaining that, but also like, because I'll have to show you like where to find them too, so I can come with, maybe, or can we hear?
So the one that hadn't spoken to you yet sort of like leans over and says, "I'll go get Collins. Just stay here."
Okay, yeah, Collins is
Goes
okay.
inside.
Yeah, I heard that name too.
Okay. So the guard goes inside and comes back a handful of minutes later with another human. Lots and lots of humans in this city. And he comes out and is like, "Hello? You said you have a message for Captain Clark, but you needed to speak to someone?"
Yeah, so my friends crossed the river a while ago to fix the river, and we did it, but the boat that they took over there got eaten, I think, and now they can't get back across, and I need help to get them across, because I can fly and swim, but they can swim. Like, they can't swim across the whole river, so they can't fly. That's the important thing. And they're stuck over there.
Sure.
Also, I have a note for Kay's mom, and I hold up a second note.
I'll take the one for Captain Dawson Clark first, he says. Okay. And he sort of takes it, and opens it, and reads it, and is kind of like, because it was a K dump, right?
It was a hasty.
So he's sort of like
I signed my name at the bottom.
Yes,
so
you
it
did.
says K Powell. So I mean,
Okay.
It's legit.
Yeah, so he like reads it over in some bewilderment and sees the name at the bottom and like looks back up from the paper down at you.
Yeah.
It's like, I will be right back. And then he sort of like whispers something to one of the guards. You can make a perception check if you want to try to hear.
No.
Yeah.
Sure. I think that's 19.
Okay. So you can't make out exactly what he's saying, but you think you hear Kay's name in the mix.
Okay, they know Kay. That's good.
All right.
That's why she wrote the note.
So.
Oh my god, the whole city knows that Kay's been kidnapped by hooligans who took her into the jungle.
So after Collins leaves and goes back inside, the guard that originally spoke to you is like, if you'd like, you can come wait in the foyer.
Okay.
And so he opens the door and sort of like follows you in and sort of stands in this, big stone foyer area with you with the door closed. And it takes...
If there's somewhere to sit, she will sit and fidget.
Yeah, there are some chairs around. So you can absolutely sit and fidget. While Collins is taking the note to Captain Dawson Clark, what are my friends who are lounging on the beach doing?
I assume Kay is like thinking about all the ways that her mother is going to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Lounge on the beach.
Probably trying to think of an alternate way. If Nadia doesn't come back and we still need to get across the river, trying to think of what we can try to do. Because if she doesn't come back, we don't get picked up. That means not only do we still need to get back to town, but probably like get her out of prison or something. Like something happened to her. So trying to think of what we could possibly do.
Like your pragmatism. Are you like specifically doing anything or having any conversations, or are you good to just hang out there?
I'm probably not talking while I'm trying to think.
Cedric's just sitting there with his feet in the water, just like
Awesome. Nice.
not helping.
Make a perception check for me.
Me or Fletcher?
You, Cedric, with your feet in the water.
Shouldn't have said that.
I should not have checked.
It is literally always the details that get you in trouble in D&D. If you were like, I'm just sitting there, it'll be fine. But then the moment you're like, my feet are in the water, it's like, well,
Here comes the
you're in trouble
megalodon.
about something. Yeah.
19.
Just never describe more than you need to.
So as the waves are, sort of washing back and forth on the sand, and you've sort of sat in such a way that, like, the waves are coming up to, maybe like, I don't know, your ankles, your shins, but, it's like the water washes up over your feet and then back down away. And as you're presumably, like, watching the water, every once in a while in the sand, you see some sort of, like, movement happening as the water goes over the sand. And then, like, as soon as it is, the sand is uncovered again, you don't see any movement. So there's something scurrying while the water is passing over the sand.
Seems normal. I don't know anything about the ocean.
You Peter or you Cedric?
Cedric.
Yeah.
And Peter, but...
What? You did, like, all kinds of research in the Chesapeake Bay, right? Isn't that...
That's true.
Yeah, you know things about ocean stuff. Anyway.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, so it takes this Collins person like 10 minutes, Nautia, of being somewhere else, but eventually he does come back with a younger man with him, who's dressed differently, not in the same sort of like uniforminess that a lot of these people here at the fort have been in. This person is dressed more like a lot of the people you saw in the city. And that person has, you have a high enough perception to notice this, that person has the letter for Kay's mom in his hand. And so he sort of like nods to Collins and leaves out through the front door. And Collins turns to you and says, I'm so sorry. I did not catch your name before.
I'm Nautia.
Nautia.
Does he know where the general store is? I guess. I hope, because I don't.
Yes,
Okay.
the courier is on his way to take that to Mrs. Prowl.
As a courier, okay.
Yes. So Captain Dawson Clark has reviewed the letters that you brought, and we're going to have Mrs. Prowl come here and confirm that that is the handwriting of her missing daughter, and then we will go from there.
Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Wonderful. So you're just sort of like awkwardly sitting there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna meet her mom first about it. Okay.
Not
Nautia
sorry.
I apologize in advance for that.
I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry. I know you're not, but I am. I just didn't know how long it would take. I really only thought it would take a week. I'm so sorry.
I mean, like, genuinely, this is all on Kay, but the rest of us are gonna get so much help for it.
And not only is it 2 months instead of a week, but also she's coming in to somebody she has never seen before who has a letter from Kay. It's not even any of the people that she left with.
And like, not human, not
We
any,
need new
not
friends.
literally not from this plane of existence.
Quite.
Mom always said we
literally.
should make friends and not judge.
She did.
I have made friends and not judge.
She takes in all kinds, but
And the only
We're just gonna blame all this on Lucanus, right? Like, it's his fault, right? Seems like the easiest way out of it. He's already wanted for kidnapping somebody else, so...
Did I see any like wanted posters with any of their faces on them as I walked in?
give me another retroactive perception check.
Shit.
Did you nat 20?
That's a 27! I rolled a 19!
Okay, so there aren't a lot of bills with like pictures on them per se, but you did notice some posted on the sides of a lot of those big boxy buildings that had her name and Fletcher's name and Cedric's name and Lucanus's name on them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, this might be her sort of sitting there thinking back. Like, oh. Wait, did those say, and like sort of like spelling it out in her head because she wouldn't have like seen their names spelled out before? Anyway.
Yep.
Nautia's gonna realize just how much we didn't tell her.
Didn't ask.
Yes.
You guys, we had a mission to fix the river. We did it.
So at this point, Party on the Sand, Nautia's been gone for probably like, man, between flying across the river and landing and having a conversation and walking to the fort and waiting, like more than half an hour. You doing anything, or are you still doing what you said you were before?
Kay looks over at Cedric. She's like, you've got a big family. I'm like, my mom won't actually kill me, right? Like, you have a lot of brothers and sisters, but did they ever find you expendable?
Oh, no, definitely not. Not expendable, no.
I hope
No,
I'm
we're
also
good.
not expendable. She, like, looks over and takes a little stick and starts, like, drawing doom in the sand. The anxiety is just leaking out to the sand.
I mean, you've got more siblings than I do, but still, I feel like most parents of most species generally, in my experience, don't kill their children often. I feel like pretty uncommon.
Even if
I mean,
they're
I don't-
adopted.
Yeah, I don't think that would make a difference. I don't know, but I mean, humans might be different than dwarves, but I mean, most dwarf parents who adopt children treat them pretty much the exact same as their biological children. I don't know how humans do it though, or ASMR, or I mean, your mom's human, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, we're all different. So I'm pretty sure my parents are human. They haven't said anything otherwise. So
Sure. I mean,
That
why
would be
would
a
you
fun
ask,
twist.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
She turns around and like gives her back to the both of the boys and just like draws in the sand floor.
I mean, it seems like she'd be much more likely to kill me and Fletcher.
Yeah, maybe.
She was pretty mad last time.
She was pretty mad last time.
Yep.
I will definitely tell her how you definitely made sure that I didn't die and self-sacrificed for me, and maybe that will help.
Seems like a good angle to put on the story.
Mm-hmm.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Um,
And I can talk about how Fletcher saved the river with his magic brain and his magic powers.
that is also true.
Well, if she doesn't kill me first, I will try and put in a good word for the both of you.
That's good. That's good.
I bet Nadia's gonna take a while. I can't even imagine what it'd be like when she just like shows up. I imagine she's gonna have to go through like a lot of bureaucracy before they even like let her get close to anyone.
Oh yeah, you know those military types. They love all their like.
Oh yeah, see my higher up,
Ranks
see
and
my higher up,
stuff.
see my higher
Yeah.
up, and then like 7 years later, you finally meet the person, and they're dead because it took so long.
Yeah, see, that's why you should just walk into the fort holding a rotting orc head. Gets you straight to the top. Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Pro tip.
but we might be here a while.
Yeah.
Fletcher, you're not participating in this conversation.
Brian is just shaking his head.
I'm still just
Ryan
trying to
and
figure
Fletcher.
out another way across the river.
Cool. Yeah, so Nadia, after like a long awkward wait of just like you and this guard in this foyer area, the courier person returns with oh my goodness. There it is. Sort of like I don't know. She's definitely older than Kay and Fletcher. Human woman.
Human-ish.
Kay is now thinking about how she should have written something about Nadia in her letter, and maybe that would have helped a lot.
With dark hair that she's got braided down her back, and she's just wearing kind of plain-ish clothes. And the courier sort of like walks her past you and back in the direction that like Collins had gone when he was taking the letters off to Captain Dawson Clark. And you wait some more, as Kay predicted. So eventually Collins comes back out with this woman, and he comes back up to you, Nadia, and says, all right, so Captain Dawson Clark has reviewed the letters, and Mrs. Prowl here has confirmed that that is indeed her daughter's handwriting. So we are going...
And tone of voice.
And writing style. And so we are going to offer assistance. Would you like to accompany the rescue party, or would you rather stay? Okay. So he'll indicate for you to follow him, and he sort of like walks out of this foyer, and you sort of retrace your steps quite a bit, but you walk along the docks to a vessel. It's pretty obviously like Tainibrian military. I mean, it's different than a lot of the other ships.
Yeah. Is Mom with us, or did she?
No,
stay,
she's at the fort.
She just and she didn't say anything to me at all. Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah. Lucky you.
The best.
Yeah, so he's taken you to this, it's a small-ish ship, not huge, and walks up the plank onto the deck. Are you coming?
Yeah, follow. Yeah.
Okay. So he... Sorry, I have to keep swapping back and forth. So he goes up to another, sort of youngish human man who appears to be in charge here on this boat, and has a conversation with him basically to the effect of Captain Dawson Clark has ordered you across the river where you're to pick up these 3 people and bring them back, kind of dealio.
Oh god, we're coming back with one less person too. Oh man.
Well, I don't know, did Kay say how many people were... Okay, yeah, so just you're supposed to go pick up the people on the opposite shore, and this person, and he's indicating to you, is going to, like, identify that they're picking up the correct people. It'd be fun if I sent the rescue party across and brought back somebody else. So then Collins turns to you, Nautia, and says, Lieutenant Commander Griffiths will be...
Griffiths? Okay.
Griffiths, yeah. Will be taking you across the river to pick up your friends, and then when you return safely, he will escort you back up to the fort.
Okay.
All right, and he disembarks.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. He disembarks, and the sailors on the ship get it underway, and it leaves the harbor. Also, you would have seen this on the ship as you were coming up. It's called the Pheasant. So, Griffiths doesn't really, like, interact with you at all on the journey across. He just, he's doing things on the ship. Perception or sense motive, maybe?
We'll do that perception. Mm-hmm. That's good, because that's a 14.
Okay, yeah, so it doesn't... I mean, you don't know a ton about how boats work, especially, boats like this, but it seems like he isn't doing a whole lot. Like, you don't really see him that much, even. But eventually, those of you sitting on the beach do see a ship coming into view across the water.
Yeah, I would have probably sort of gone up to the front, as long as that was... not somewhere that was clearly in the way, and then like hung out up there sort of looking for them.
Yeah. A lot of the sailors are sort of like looking at you while they do their jobs, but nobody like bothers you. Yeah.
Okay.
Kay looks at Fletcher and she's like, do something, like do a shooty shoot in the air so they know that we're here.
A shooty shoot.
I think I'm going to wait and hope that Nautia told them kind of where to come instead of doing something that they might think is an attack against them.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Kay, like, pulls out one of the blankets and is just, like, waving it around. Like, over here.
Nautia, can you do a perception for me? I'm going to have their lookout do one as well.
God damn it. That's a 10.
Oh. The lookout also got a 10. So... Peter? You okay over there? Yeah?
Yep.
Good. Everything was going smoothly until now. So... Eventually, the big ship that you're on, Nautia, kind of, like, slows down, and there's a call to drop the anchor, and so they stop the boat. And basically, a different person that you haven't spoken to comes up to you and says, the ship can't go any farther towards that side of the river because it's too shallow, so we're going to drop a rowboat. Would you like to go...
I mean, I can, and I sort of just fly off the deck. I'm like, I can show you.
Oh, that's convenient. Great, yeah. And see, he sort of, gives instructions to another person who, a team of them lower this rowboat, and this one person is in the rowboat, and he starts rowing it closer to the shore.
Yeah. And I'll, like, pop up and look around and make sure I see them.
Okay, yeah.
Dude... Can we see if Nautia pop up so we know that she's with them? Since something would have just like gone up in the air.
Yeah, perception checks. She is very small.
17.
21.
15.
Okay.
Kay is very excited about her blanket.
Yeah, Kay's putting a lot of effort into waving the blanket. But Cedric and Fletcher, you do see something small sort of, fly up off the deck of the ship, and you would assume that it's Nautia. And you can also see that they're lowering a rowboat and that there's somebody coming towards you.
I wave a lot. I know Kay's doing her semaphore dance over there, but I'm just kind of trying to do a friendly hey, wave.
Mm-hmm. All right, so eventually, Nautia, are you sort of keeping pace with the rowboat, or are you
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna try to. I'm ostensibly guiding them. I'm gonna try not to totally lose them.
Okay, yeah. So now that you're closer, you do eventually spot your friends and lead the guy in the rowboat in the right direction. And he basically rows it right up to the sand and gets up out of the boat and is like, hello. And I don't know if you landed or
Oh
not,
my god, Nautia, you did it!
Yeah. So he
Where
looks,
I found them.
he looks at you, Naughty, and is like, these are the people we're supposed to be picking up?
Yeah,
Great.
that's Kay, and that's Cedric and Fletcher.
Hello. I guess we're your ride.
It's so great to
Thank
see you!
so much.
Thank you so much! This is wonderful!
I mean, I can't really swim, so I definitely would have drowned in that river if we, had to swim across.
Well, we're happy to help, as always. Climb aboard.
She, grabs all her stuff and, hops into the boat.
All right, yeah. So you all get in the dinghy. Naughty, I'm assuming you're flying back.
Yeah.
Okay. So this person rows you back across to where the bigger ship is parked, and the crew, gets you all up out of the dinghy onto the larger ship, and then they turn it around and take it back towards the port.
And at some point
Kay is
along the way, Nautia will turn to Kay and just be like, "Hey, Kay, guess what? Your mom's waiting for us."
Wait, what?
Probably the last thing she wanted to hear.
She's waiting for us?
Yeah, she came to the
Kay is
port.
contemplating just jumping off the boat right now. What do you mean she's waiting for us? Did you deliver the letter?
I sent. Well, they sent a courier with a letter, and then the courier brought her back to the fort.
Oh.
So she's there.
Oh.
I'm sure it'll be
Is
fine.
that not?
She's gonna
Does
be
he want
so happy you're not.
Yeah, maybe
there.
she'll be happy to
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think so. I don't know. She looked. Well, how did she look when I saw her? She was hurrying.
Yeah, she hurried in, with the courier, and then when, she came back out, she sort of took a seat in the foyer area. She's got a face that's a little hard to read. It looks like she keeps a lot inside, so you couldn't really gauge what was going on with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she rushed right over. She must be excited to see you.
Or she
should've
was,
brought
didn't
a
have anything to
fish.
do.
She always has something to do. She's like the manager of the general store. She's probably mad that I took her away from her work day.
I mean,
We should have brought a fish to prove that we actually did it.
A fish.
I mean, the water's
One singular
better.
fish.
yeah, we fixed the water.
We did. We fixed the river. It's much better now. It doesn't smell. I mean, it smells the
That
way
is
it's supposed
true.
to smell, not like the bad smell.
Yeah, just like rotting seaweed now.
Mm-hmm. Not rotting. Just, I mean, like, some of it's rotting, I guess, but, like, there's a lot of not rotting seaweed in there, too.
Sure, but you can't smell that. I mean, from up here in the air part, I'm
Yeah,
sure you
but
could smell it.
all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
there's
a good
lot less
point.
stuff
Smell
in there
underwater,
now.
Nautia?
But yeah, that's a good point. I bet, as a creature from the plane of water, she probably experiences, the sense of water things differently.
Nautia can
Yeah.
smell a drop of blood and
Yeah.
a mile away.
Does Nautia have those things that fish have, like the line on the side of their body that detects like ocean pressures
Lateral
and
lines?
temperatures and stuff? Yeah, that
I
thing.
hope so. That's a good question. You don't know?
She's clearly got a real good sense of just, like, the water.
That's true.
So, probably, she can probably smell the water real well.
Yeah, you'd almost, like... Well, yeah, because, like, in the plane of water, like, I mean, you talked about this before, like, there isn't, like, a sky, it's just water
it's just
everywhere,
water.
so, like, you probably would need something like that in order to be able to navigate, because, like, what's up and down and whatever is so sort of not defined.
Like how do you do direction in a place with no land? See, also, the plane of air as well. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I think my question is so, like, obviously you are a fish-like creature, but, like, are you in the fish clade, or are you is this a convergent evolution type scenario where you just happen to look like a fish?
Yeah, are you like a marine iguana, or are you like an actual fish?
I mean, like, I'm mostly, like, because, like, I'm sort of like an elemental, so, like, I'm sort of just, like, made of water, but also can look like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's complicated, and I don't understand it, really. It's just kind of how I am.
Fair enough.
I think that convergent evolution is probably the best explanation there, because, she's a water elemental, so, like, even trying to explain, like, what that means in terms of the tree of life is getting real exciting. So.
Different tree. It's a radically different
tree.
It's literally on a different plane. It is not the same tree. I kind of look like things here, but I'm not from here, so...
Right, but there are fish on the elemental plane of water, right?
Are there?
I don't know, I've never been.
Yeah. There are lots of fish and fish-type creatures.
There's fish and stuff. Yeah.
But maybe, are they fish from
I
here?
look like them, but, like, I don't know, some of them might be.
I feel like that'd be, like, if they were, like, fish that had, like, swum through a portal into another plane underwater, then you'd have a lot of, like, geographic isolation.
Yeah.
It'd be a
That's how the megalodon got here.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Are the fish from here and moving to the elemental plane of water, or are they all from the elemental plane of water and they just came here?
They migrate like salmon.
Yes!
Oh my god, that would be so cool. From, like, a low magic area to a high magic area.
That's
like,
cool.
And they eat their skin off as they go to lay their eggs, and their babies somehow know how to get to the other plane.
Sure.
Yep. If you put a dam in front of the portal to the elemental plane of water, you could generate a lot of electricity, though. So that's messing with a lot of fish populations.
Could help actually explain what eels do, since we still don't know.
We don't know.
They just go into the elemental plane of water.
I'd love that. Just like, oh yeah, there is another plane of existence, but it's just eels. It's the elemental plane of eels.
Oh wow. We're going.
It would
on
explain
an
how
adventure
eels
there.
are so good at getting out of things. Like
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a couple of eels in a fish tank, and boy, they would just go in everywhere. It's like eels and crayfish. They're just like, I go where I want.
I'm definitely adding the plane of eels to the cosmography of D&D for our world. That's.
I regret putting that out into the internet.
No, don't. That's delightful.
I like it
it's better than like the plane of lampreys or something.
Oh
So,
God!
See?
No!
See? There's always something worse.
Oh yeah, you have a slime mephits and lampreys that live
Yes. Now I'm making that one too.
Yes. I want to run into a hagfish mephit, just a giant.
Oh,
Oh man.
hagfish have such
Alright.
cute faces, though. I think they're cute. Anyway,
Face Peter just made. I've never seen that one before.
from the audience, just some guy asked, do fish have a sense of smell underwater, or would it be more like a sense of taste? That's a great question. Smell and taste are highly related.
It's just like form of chemoreception. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So like they're highly related. See people losing their sense of taste when they have COVID because things have gone wrong in the nerves in their nose. Please see food tastes different if you do this. So they're kind of the same thing. But yes, fish do smell underwater in order to find food, in order to find mates, in order to avoid predators. All the same, reasons why terrestrial creatures smell.
Where is their chemoreception? Because it would be like,
question.
I'm guessing through their mouth, because it probably isn't through their gills. They don't have like noses.
Boy, fish chemoreception is the name of a book.
I do not doubt it, and I bet it is a thick book too. Fish can taste sweet, salty, sour, and bitter.
Just like us?
So, yeah.
Sweet.
No,
That's
well,
cool.
I mean, probably not just like us.
Well, but I mean,
least
like,
they
they
have
have
4 different types of taste buds.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I assume that's in the mouth.
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh my god, please, I just want like a diagram or something.
There are so many things about the way that fish smell to us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very hard thing to Google. It's a very interesting question, though.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So I did find a diagram. It looks like there are canals.
Nares.
They have nares or nares. So nostrils, but like birds and reptiles, they're called nares. It looks like they do have pathways, nares, and also in their mouth. So kind of yes, both. Cool. And then of course you get into fish like catfish and other, with barbels on their faces and stuff, and they can use those for extra sensing, or the ampullae of Lorenzini that sharks have for electromagnetic sensing.
They taste electricity. Do you know platypus also have that in their bill?
I did.
Of course they do.
That's how they find like little
So
shrimp.
they find
and stuff.
worms.
Yeah,
right?
they like go in the mud.
in the muck.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, she can probably smell real good in the water.
Can you sense electricity in the water?
I don't think so.
Nautia, jump into the water and Fletcher will shoot a lightning bolt into it real quick, and we'll see if you can feel that.
We'll see if you sense it.
Yeah. Just let us know if you get any kind of sensation.
I mean, like, when I got struck by lightning out in the desert, I didn't I felt that.
But did you smell it?
Smelled it after.
Smell like burnt fish?
And ozone, but yes, crispy.
Yeah. Smelled like I just got struck by lightning.
Okay, but side note, barring the fact that she can exist in both water and on land equally just fine, but like, what if her chemosensory system was better evolved for the water, so she actually had a worse sense of smell and taste on land?
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I assume there are a lot of chemicals that you can sense in the water because they're dissolved in the water that then wouldn't transfer as well to being dissolved in the air.
And so many things that change when they go in the water because of all the hydrolysis and there's so many reactions that could happen right away that she could be sensing things in the water that we wouldn't sense in the air, or maybe perhaps not as often in the air versus in the water.
Yeah. I mean, how does that work for amphibians?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Is there a book called Chemosensory in Amphibians?
I'm amphibian.
We need a herpetologist.
We do.
Well, and they do I wonder if it's anything more diffuse in amphibians. You think of a frog and how their skin is, so basically porous to everything. I wonder if they have an additional layer of chemoreception that is diffuse across the body as well.
I feel like that sounds right. I feel like maybe they can taste with other parts of them, because an amphibian is so sort of I don't know, not contained.
There's a butterfly that can taste
permeable
with its ovipositor.
Huh?
There's a butterfly that can taste with its ovipositor. Because it
So-
needs to know if the leaf it's like laying eggs on is good.
Ah, that makes sense.
So
Checking
wait.
for like plant compounds and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But butterflies can taste with their feet, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Are parts of the ovipositor modified legs?
I don't know. I just read a quick article about that they saw this behavior and they found chemoreceptors in the ovipositor or like at the base of the abdomen. I'll have to pull up the study again, but
All insect
feel like
is legs. Also, really great job pivoting to insects, folks.
So I found
I
frogs.
don't know
Took a
about
while.
fish or frogs.
You found frog what?
I found it. The skin. It's still. They sense heat, cold, and pain through their skin. I couldn't find anything about chemoreception through the skin.
Okay. I also see something that like they can they have chemoreceptors to sense oxygen levels in their gills in the larval stages, which is kind of cool.
I mean, you'd think they'd at least be able to like tell how like osmotic potential in water, right? Like you think if your skin is that permeable that like you get in the water and immediately you can feel, either your skin water moving in or moving out of your skin.
Maybe.
I would-
Yeah. I would think so. That would be involved in that. Could be those kinds of cues that lead them to do like to estivate or things like bury in the mud. It's got to be cues based on that sort of thing because they do have to keep their skin wet at that certain like osmotic potential to allow the gas exchange to continue.
Apparently, completely fresh water has no taste to humans, but our saliva does have a taste, has like a slightly acidic taste that we're just used to, right? It just what the inside of your mouth tastes like. So
You
while
did the
freshwater
thing.
has
Where like everybody's suddenly very aware of the inside of their mouth. Yeah, thanks
Yes.
for that.
So freshwater doesn't have a taste, but it dilutes the taste that you're already experiencing. So it does actually taste slightly sweet because it's diluting the acidity that you're already experiencing.
That's cool. I like that. Weird.
That makes sense.
That's what I got.
Nice. Man, we sort of like transitioned into that one. Otherwise, I would have rung the bell. But it was sort of like the melding.
Well, Nautia was trying to have a conversation in character.
I know. I was like, I feel like Cedric wouldn't have used the word clade. So
It's interesting though, because I think when you talk about like the theology of D&D, right? Like so like dwarves were created by Moradin, right? Like this is not like here on Earth where we have creation myths and religions that have like all of these different ideas. It's like we have a factual creation of dwarves whole cloth by the gods, and the same thing with the other races, right?
well, I mean, until we get into how Cedric interprets that story versus how other dwarves interpret that story.
Sure.
Yes.
But like, even though humans and dwarves are very, very similar in a lot of ways, and some races in D&D can crossbreed, it's not because they're closely related species. Like, if we assume, like, if all of the D&D races or species or whatever terminology you're using had evolved together, and then you have like half elves, and half humans, you would be like, oh, those two species are just really closely related and they're hybridizing. But with the D&D lore, it's like, no, they're completely unrelated species who just so happen to be so similar that they can crossbreed. That's super
It's
weird.
like the gods copied off of one another.
Yeah. It's also weird because in D&D there are so many like monsters that are reskins of each other, where you've got like so many different variants of like one type of monster, which like totally makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. You're like, oh yeah, we've got these kobolds that live over here, and they've adjusted into this subspecies, and the ones over here are in this subspecies. But it's like, yeah, if they've all been created whole cloth, it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna copy and paste this.
That sort of like radiation of like variance on a monster does lead us back to like, what is Nautia? Where did water mephits come from, though, right? Because there are lots of different kinds of mephits native to all of the different elemental planes, and like there are like the dust mephits are from the plane of air, but there are other mephits also from the plane of air that aren't dust, right? So there are, in some of the planes, multiple kinds of mephits. But if they are all made of their own element, are the mephits all related? Is this a radiation of mephits? Or are they, again, like all convergent on a similar mischievous type of creature?
See, all right. Here's my proposition: is that you have a spirit of mischief that then diverges into different elemental forms as like a way of I don't know, obtaining, you know, physical form or something like that, right? That you have like an intention that's non-corporeal, and then that evolves in different ways to become corporeal or something like that. Because I don't think it makes sense to have like an method, you know, with that. I don't know.
That works. It's all magic. Woo. All right. So you have some sort of conversation on the pheasant. It's not about evolution, probably, because.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
I looked up the butterfly thing, and I remembered incorrectly, which is why I want to correct it. They don't taste with their genitalia. They see with their genitalia.
That's so much better!
That was an important correction.
Yeah, apparently they have photoreceptors on their genitalia that is important in mate recognition and possibly oviposition sites.
Okay.
So really the story got better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or worse, depending on
Or
your...
worse.
I'm just thinking of that scene in
perspective.
Apollo 13 where they're trying to do like the docking or something, like, or some space movie where they're like trying to
I mean,
dock
that's a thing. That's
the
a thing.
space
You've
shuttle
got
with
the
the space
dock
station or
with the
whatever.
camera, because
Yeah.
it's a careful.
Man,
Yeah.
photoreceptors show up in weird places.
I mean, if you think about the development of just the eye in general, photoreceptors are fucking wild.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Animals like seeing.
I mean, it's pretty useful. So.
And this is the first sentence. Butterflies sense light with their genitalia. 4 photoreceptor cells in the genitalia meditate this photosensitivity.
Nice.
So it's just 4 cells. So it's like this little tiny. They're just a receptor. It's just, it's light or it's dark, and there's 4 of them, so you can get a little bit of positionality out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the very first camera phone camera I ever had.
Here I was thinking about, the photoreceptors used in robotics, but that's okay. Yeah, sure.
I mean, what do you need? Hi. Sorry, dog.
By the way, you were joking about a slime method earlier, and there is in fact an ooze method.
Yeah, I felt
also
like
from
that
the
was
plane of
familiar.
water.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that would make sense if there was like an water method that then diverged into like a mud method and a slime method, and like you're like,
Maybe it's one of those mimicry complexes where you have like some that are actually derived from each other, and then you have others that are like, that looks like a great idea, and then like mimicked it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like willfully.
I was going to say that, not that
but-
there's intentionality, but yes.
Yes.
We talked about mimicry complexes in our last nature chat.
Yeah, when we had a mimic that ate our boat.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that old thing.
Oh, that
Yeah.
old thing. Yeah. So, are you doing anything else on the boat as you cross back to the town? Just hanging out?
Splashing Nautia with different things, and
Can you taste this?
like if I pour this on your arm, can you
oh
taste
my
that?
god.
Does this taste different than this?
Kay is like chatting, I wouldn't say with, definitely to anyone who seems vulnerable and
The guy at the helm is
maybe.
extremely vulnerable. He cannot leave.
Yeah, so she's talking to him a lot about everything that happened. And she's like, and then Lucanus had to like give up his body, and then he just like died in this temple. When we came back later, we couldn't obviously get in there, but then we had to go through this desert, and we met like this scorpion dude. I asked if he could poop through his tail or his butt. He didn't answer though, and it just goes on.
Amazing. Yeah, it's sort of a middle-aged guy. He's like not completely ignoring you. Like it's something to do to pass the time while he steers. But yeah, eventually you make it back into the harbor, and the ship docks at the same slip where it started. And the guy that Nautia was indicated to you that he was in charge does appear from somewhere, and sort of
It's
calls.
Collins, right?
Huh? No,
Collins, right?
Lieutenant Commander Griffiths,
Oh, okay.
the guy in charge of the boat. Yeah.
But okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he calls a few of his sailors, and they sort of, him in front, and then all of you, and then a few sailors behind you escort you. It's not like you're being marched to jail, but it is like they're keeping you contained as they parade you to the fort. I don't know.
Seems fair.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you had reactions to that, or there's anything.
No, I think I'd be
do.
like, so are we like, are we needed at the fort? I mean, thank you for picking us up. I don't know. Is there like payment or something needed? I
Probably have to do like a debrief, I would think, right?
So
They probably want to know all the things we've seen.
And about the river.
So Griffiths turns to you and it says, apparently Captain Dawson Clark said that I was supposed to bring you all to the fort when I was done fetching you, so I'm bringing you to the fort.
Okay.
I mean, I'd much prefer this than my mother, so I mean, I'm good.
The last time we came back to town, remember, Fletcher, when I had the orc head? We had like important information that we had to give them. So Captain Dawson Clark probably just assumes that we have more important information.
hopefully.
You think they'd like applaud us though when we came in? Like, don't they know that we fixed the river? I wrote a letter.
So you.
Have I been getting a lot of stares as I go around here? Yeah, I'm definitely
So
gonna
many.
like on before we get
Yeah.
off the boat. I've like pulled that wrap back out and put it back on.
The one that you got from the scorpion folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I had a cloak. That's right. From the other ones that we met. Was it goblins? Goblins.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Yeah. In any case, you cover yourself up a bit.
Yeah.
Like, are you like very intentionally trying to hide your features, or are you just sort of tossing it on?
I'm just like, I don't want to be like the shiny blue thing. Like, clearly my face is gonna be very different, and I'm not gonna hide that just out of concern for them thinking I'm trying to hide something, but just be a little bit less like, oh my god, I don't look like anything else here. So, like...
Okay. So no need for a disguise check. That's fine.
No. Like, I'll keep the hood down. I want to blend in a little better.
That makes sense. It also, puts a piece of clothing on you, so, yeah. So you are marched back, Nautia, that's basically the same route that, you've taken back and forth now, but for the rest of you, I mean, Kay, you know where you're going. Like, you go through the warehouse district and through sort of one of the, like, lower income neighborhoods and arrive at the doors of the fort. And Lieutenant Commander Griffiths and his sailors lead you inside, where you see Collins and Elizabeth Prowl in the foyer. So when you come in, the sailors sort of move off to the side, and Elizabeth stands up out of the chair that she was sitting in and sort of just, like, looks at you for a moment, Kay. And then she just, like, rushes across the room and embraces you, like, so tight. And she just sort of, like hugs you
She,
and, like, breathes. Yeah.
I told
Kay
you she
like
was
hugs
waiting.
her back. It's like, I must admit this wasn't what I was expecting. Are you mad at me?
She does the thing where
We fixed the river.
she does the thing where she sort of, like, lets go from the embrace, but, like, holds, like the tops of your biceps and sort of, like, holds you at arm's length and, like, I was incredibly worried.
As it turns out, the river is like really long and kind of underground. And so, like, as it turned out, I mean, I think I wrote in my letter, but I was like trying to write really quickly, so I don't remember. But like, we followed the river as far as we could, and then we saw where it was like pouring out. And then so we went inland, and there were like grasslands, and there was like desert, and then we had to get through like the jaws of death, which weren't actual jaws, they were like rocks. It was weird. Anyway, and then we like found this dwarf
Sweetheart,
who was mining. Yes.
We can do this later. And she turns
Sorry.
back to she turns back to Collins and says, "This is fine. I'm happy to have my daughter back. Thank you so much for all of your help." And he sort of nods back to her and, "Yes, happy to help, Mrs. Prowl. I will send someone to Captain Wells so that he knows the wanted bill has been resolved and everything should be fine."
We can pay for it. Right, Fletcher? Right? I mean, I'm assuming we can pay for it. I'm not the one in charge of the money, but like we earned some money. So like if we need to pay for the boat that got us, or like, you know, any of the wasted time for like the 2 months that I was like not actually dead that you may have wasted trying to find me because I said I was going to be gone for a week because I didn't know how big the river was. I feel like that's kind of my fault. So we can probably pay for it.
Who were you offering to pay?
She's just K-dumping on the whole room.
Yeah,
She's
like-
just talking.
She like turned and
Like, I
like,
don't even know which NPC is supposed to respond right now.
she like
I
she
don't
just
think
turns
I know either.
Oh,
look
yeah, no one in the room
at the
knows.
most
Everyone's like,
important person that
Okay.
then like, doesn't know because they all kind of look important and just like turns to all of them like
Okay, maybe just don't like offer to give our money away. Maybe.
Yeah, Kay's thinking about money. Fletcher's still processing that he just said we were on like wanted posters, and I'm like,
Nautia, would
What?
you have pointed out the posters to them as you were walking back? Because you saw them.
Kay didn't notice if
I don't think she
so
would
Kay
have.
definitely would not have noticed.
Yeah, I don't. Man.
I mean,
Yeah, I
why
guess
did-
she might have sort of. No, I don't think she would. I don't
No?
think she would.
Okay,
It'll
cool.
be easier to just say she wouldn't.
Awesome.
Yep. No.
and it probably would have been when I was asking Griffiths about like why do we even going to the fort?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm. And you were walking
would
by
not
like
have seen
rows
them.
and rows and rows of posters with your name on it.
Yeah. Yeah, in amongst all of the K-dump, Griffiths and his sailors have left. They were not going to hang around.
They're done.
Oh,
They're done.
yeah, like as they
like
leave.
they don't even want our money, so it's totally fine.
Cedric definitely would have like tried to like shake Griffith's hand and be like, thank you so much for the.
Oh, no, they just like
Ride.
slipped out. Like,
Aw,
yeah.
dang. So that's it. We're good.
And Collins is like, if Mrs. Prowl is satisfied, then you are free to go. Glad we could get you back safely.
Yeah, thanks for the help. Damn, like, you know, swimming across the river. I mean, Nautia could do it, but like, I would totally drown. So thanks.
Cedric, now at this point, Cedric's like gonna like grab Kay from the back and kind of like pull her like away. Like he's like, I think we've taken up enough of this
Thank
young
you.
man's time.
She, like turns around and is like waving. But they know me. It's totally fine, guys.
Mrs. Prowl is on Kay's other side and sort of walks out with all of you. And it is, like, between all of the stuff that Nautia did in town and then them sailing across to get you and sailing back and all of this, like, it's early evening at this point.
Oh man,
As
we
we
should
walk
totally
out-
get dinner at Leon's place.
As we walk out, Nautia will attempt to introduce herself to Kay's mother.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Mom, I mean, you remember Fletcher and Cedric, right? This is Nautia. She's the one who flew the letter across. I'm so glad that you actually got it. I mean, like, we had to give her some pretty specific instructions. It's not like she's ever been in town before, and you know, she doesn't really look like the rest of us. No offense, Nautia. So I was like really worried that like all the important people were gonna like freak out, but like, good thing she like did real good, right? She got us a boat and everything. So proud.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
meet
this
ya.
is Nautia.
It's nice to meet you. Thank you for helping.
She lives in the rainforest. You know there's a rainforest across the river?
I mean, like, people kind of know that there's a forest over there. Like, you know, people have sailed past it and stuff. So, like, you would have known that there was jungle over there kind of thing. Just nobody really goes there. Yeah. But you went in there?
Yeah, so we like went into the rainforest, and then we met Nautia because like we're also supposed to get parrots. I'm not sure if I explained that. I'm not gonna explain it now. It's complicated. Anyway, so we're supposed to get parrots, but then the parrots like squawked and they like flew out all these colors and we passed out. But then Nautia came and she saved us and like fed us some really great stuff. And she was like, I also live in the river. We need to like clean the river. And we're like, oh, how convenient. We also are trying to clean the river. So then we all went traveling into the forest and then we came out to the grasslands. Do you know mushrooms can talk? We met this really cool mushroom. His name was Gary, or their name was Gary. He had 7 fingers on one hand. Do you even call it a hand? And like 5 on the other, or like 6? I don't know. It was like random. Anyway, but he talked through hallucinogenic spores, and that was, or they talked through hallucinogenic spores, and that was really cool. And then we like went through the desert, and there were like these big insect people, and then
Well, first we met Miriam.
And before that, the gnolls.
The mouse people and the gnolls.
Yeah.
Right, there's so many people.
I like that. That's the point where we're like, oh no, we should interrupt Kay. Is she's not doing it in she's not describing our drug trip in chronological order.
Naughty would be jumping in on this and be like, oh yeah, and then there was
anyway, so we got to far enough up the river where like part of the river was clean, and then the other part of the river was like underground, and then like Nautia found that she like swam underwater. She's like, the pollution's coming out here, so then we just
the DM's gonna interrupt for a moment. So at this point, if it's okay with you, so at this point you've reached sort of like the greenway that there's like a little park sort of in the middle of the temple district. So you guys you walked out of the fort through the lower income neighborhood, through like the entertainment district to the temple district. And your mom is sort of like, are you coming home for dinner?
Sounds like
can they come for dinner too?
We've got a bird errand to run, and sounds like you guys have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah,
Kay, that is true.
I think you should probably just spend tonight at home.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. Yeah, you guys take care of it.
Yeah. Plus, we got to show Nautia around, and
yes, you definitely.
Yeah, we got to get Nautia, get her a room where we're staying.
Oh yeah, Leon will totally give her a room. Don't even worry about it. Tell him I said hi, okay?
Will do. Well, yeah, probably see you there tomorrow or something, maybe.
Yeah. I'll meet you there tomorrow morning, probably after breakfast.
Her mom's gonna have her locked in the attic.
Yeah. Next episode, jailbreak. A is grounded.
Okay, so Kay, you are going home.
Yeah, I'll go home.
Okay.
And like, I'm like, bye guys, and I'm like, oh my god, and then this next thing, this really cool person that we met. They had wings, Mom. They had wings and could fly.
All right, so you are going home, and the 3 of you are going to the marked bird. Is that?
I think we're gonna stand here in the street for a couple of minutes and just kind of be like, classic K, am I right?
And so we almost came back and immediately went to prison.
Yeah, that was. Hey, Nautia, did you not notice all these wanted posters all over town?
Yeah,
that I've just now noticed with our names on them.
I imagine now there's like one guard who's kind of slowly scraping them off since it's done now. But we're like,
yep.
Maybe we'll just go. But
I mean, I saw like your names, but I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, we're just a big deal around town. They're excited. Okay.
I mean, given how quickly her mom came back, like clearly she was like waiting, like they were worried. I mean, you guys knew that they'd be worried about, right? I mean,
I think I knew, but I didn't know.
I mean,
think it would result in
that it went pretty well.
Yeah, no, much better than it could have.
Kay thinks it went great. She sees no problems.
She didn't notice the wanted posters.
She's not in trouble on the wanted posters.
Yeah, can I get one? Can I go like pull one down and keep it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have
Just as like a keepsake.
one wanted poster for Lucanus and one wanted poster for Lucanus, Fletcher, Cedric, and yeah.
One missing person poster.
Yeah, but that's
for
yeah.
Kay.
I mean, it's a missing person / wanted. Yeah. Just collecting them.
Oh.
Now that we've talked about Swan, I feel like we should deal with that ASA possible.
Yeah, and it might be good to do it while Kay is at home and safe. So there's not really anything, it doesn't matter who brings it over to them. So maybe we should try to just deliver what we can.
Nautia, this is the person we're supposed to take the birds to.
The birds.
Kay
Also,
has one of the birds.
Oh, dang it.
Kay, Fletcher, and Cedric were each carrying one of the birds.
Oh,
and I
sure.
don't know who has... I think Nautia had all the feathers.
I had all the feathers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so, do I see the direction Kay went in?
Yeah. I mean, you've been talking for a minute, but yeah, you know the general direction they walked in, yeah.
Yeah, can I...
I'm sure I'm allowed to.
Scamper that direction and see if I can catch up?
Are you walking?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, if you... Good grief. Sorry, very excited dog. If you, run, you can, get back so that you can see them, yeah.
Yeah, I'll sort of scamper. Kay?
Yeah?
Kay? Do you have one of the birds still?
Oh, yeah, I totally do. You're right. She, opens up her backpack and, pulls, a random thing out. And, she's like, it's neat. And there it is. And she, pulls it out by the tail. Here you go.
Great. And I'll definitely sort of bag...
The bird that
sort of put
barks
it under the
colors,
cloak
Mom.
and
But we
run
took
back.
care of it, so don't worry.
Have a good night. Scampers back to the boy.
So good. All right. So it
And I'm
sounds
assuming
like...
the whole time just, having to dodge absolutely everything on this street.
Oh, yeah, there's people, there's carts and horses and dogs and, yeah, whatever.
Don't we have 4 birds?
I have...
We got one the first time, and then the second time, I think I got 2 and Fletcher got 1.
You have 3
No,
total.
we have 3 birds. We had
We have
one
3
that
total.
got
We got 2 the second time.
damaged,
Mhm.
and then we got 2 in really good shape. They're pristine from how they were knocked out. Because the first one you hit, the next one's...
No, the
forget
first
how we
one
got
was
them.
attacked by the eagle, and the next 2 were
That's
hit
right.
with
Oh,
the
the
spiritual
eagle.
weapon. Yeah.
And the spiritual weapon was the second one. And but we found
But wait,
10
I
more
killed
feathers.
2 with the spiritual weapon, and didn't Fletcher kill 1?
No, I didn't kill anything.
Oh, okay.
You got
All right.
you got all 3 through different ways.
Someone attempted a
And we
third
have
one and missed.
44 feathers.
Gotcha.
Either someone attempted a third one or the third one is a female, and so
The third one was a female that flew over
Yeah.
Kay, so she didn't shoot at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Kay is headed home. You all have all the birds and are headed where?
I don't. I at
Where-
least do not. I at least did not write in my notes if we know where we're supposed to find Thornburrow, who's Siwan's representative. We're supposed to give stuff to. I don't know if we just go to the Greens if they're we'll be there, or I don't know.
Probably hang out in a dark alley and wait to be attacked.
I was gonna say we could probably go somewhere seedy and ask about him, and probably find out where he is.
Okay, so if it's not in your notes, intelligence checks to see if you can remember what she said.
Yeah, I only wrote down who to go to.
Mm-hmm.
17.
22.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So after talking about it for a minute, it sort of jogs your memory, the Lux Rum was where she said to meet him.
Yep. I remember that. Do you remember where that is, Fletcher? Have we been there before? We've been there before. Yeah.
We
definitely been there
haven't.
before.
We haven't been there. I
Oh
don't
no,
think.
you've definitely been there.
Is that?
It's like the CD dive bar.
Yeah, these were single-digit episodes way back at the beginning.
I
but
have
Cedric,
very vague recollections of.
Cedric has been in twice, once with Kay and once with Fletcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that's where we were like, hey, honey.
That. And Cedric got knocked on his ass by a drink, and you talked to a whole bunch of different people. Yeah.
That's why I don't remember it. I'm fairly certain I can get us back there. It was by the docks. I think if we wander around long enough, we'll find it.
While they're wandering, let's go on a bio break. And
Right.
maybe by the time we get back from a bio break, Cedric and Fletcher will have figured out how to navigate to the Luxrum Tavern. Thank you so much, everybody who's hanging out and watching, hanging out in the chat. Thanks for asking questions about fish smelling. Thanks for redeeming a wild magic surge. I'll use it at some point. I just didn't want to,
boy.
like, super derail the meeting. I know that was your intention, but I'm not that mean.
Evil viewers.
So we'll use it at some point. Yeah, but we're gonna go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. See you soon. Hello, we're back. Hope you enjoyed your quick break. Chatted about sitcoms and got some refreshments and petted pets and all that goodness. So it is evening. And the party has split up intentionally within the safety of the city.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And Kay has gone home for dinner with her mother, and the rest of the party, Fletcher, Cedric, and Nautia, are headed, they hope, in the direction of the Lux Rum. So let's start with having whoever is trying to lead the way make a survival check.
I've been twice, so I should do it.
Okay.
$15.
15. Okay. So you remember that, yeah, it's along the docks, and so you basically just, like, head back to the docks and just sort of keep walking until you get to it. So, like, it's not super fast, but you make it there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it smelled like cheap booze, so I just kind of follow my nose a little bit. It's been 2 months since I've had a drink, I'm pretty sure, so...
Well, no, you've had alcohol. You had alcohol with a Miriam at the very least.
Yeah, but not very much.
No. that's
Very
true.
small glasses.
Very small glasses. Yep. Alrighty, and are you, like, just walking on in?
Before we go in, Fletcher, you've been in here before, but Nautia, this is, I don't know how many bars you've been in. I mean, you were a little bit of a, you've partied before, but this might be a little bit like, I don't know, this might be a vibe that you're not used to.
Like, there was the tavern at the Miriam.
This
was
is
nice.
not at all like that.
Okay.
This is like,
I mean, they're much bigger. The people here are much bigger.
yes, I know, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
Upsettingly so.
mean,
Expect
I've been
all the
around
furniture in there is
culture,
too big,
also.
all the doors are too big. Yeah, you just gotta get used to it.
It happens.
There will be people in here. They will be of a rougher kind. The
Okay.
alcohol will not be as good as the Miriam alcohol. Probably there will be some criminal elements in here, since we're here to meet with a criminal element.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Fletcher, what am I forgetting?
Nautia kind of pulls her bag, like, more up toward the front and pulls out the quarterstaff and starts kind of walking with
Yeah,
it.
put your wallet in your front pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put your passport into your neck bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're muted, Fletcher. Still muted.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm not muted.
Oh,
Ah!
okay, there you are.
can hear
Cool.
you.
That was weird.
I wasn't muted. I don't
Were
know.
you just pretending to talk again? Sorry, did you say something?
I was just after Nautia, I was saying, well, yeah, a good idea. Keep all your stuff close to you, and don't look at anybody right in the eyes. Just we'll find who we need to talk to and deal with it and go.
So as she's sort of shifting her things around, she has been juggling one of these birds sort of in one hand.
Yeah.
So like, you're probably.
Oh yeah, maybe we should put that put that in my bag with the other
Yeah,
one.
we can take that. Yeah.
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 Also,
Okay.
if you don't want to come in, you don't have to come in.
Also true.
But maybe you should, and then
I'm
like
not sure where
we'll
else
be
to
like,
go.
yeah, you should stay with us, and then if anybody gives us trouble, we can be like, this is a real dangerous person that we met out in the jungle, and they can spit acid. Yeah. And then if nobody gives us trouble, then we could be like, this is a real dangerous person that we met out in the jungle, and they can spit acid, and she'll show you if you give us free drinks. So either way, get ready.
Is that impressive to people?
I mean, I've never met anybody else that can do it.
Okay.
Also, it's probably better than some of the stuff they serve here.
So I shouldn't drink anything here.
I don't know, you probably have a pretty strong stomach.
Okay. You're really selling it. Sounds great.
It's not. We could go in.
Go in. All right, so it's evening now. There are quite a few people in here. Dwarves, gnomes, lots of humans, halflings and whatnot. Behind the bar, doing all of the serving is Nautia. You've seen cats. There are wild cats in the jungle. This is a cat about the same height as Fletcher, with like hands, not paws, wearing clothes and serving drinks behind the bar.
Okay. So, like, there's cat people too.
Yep.
We've met bird people and scorpion people, so sure.
Yeah.
Should we just go straight to the barkeep and ask if Thornburrow's here?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Or I guess
feel like-
first, can we scan the room and see if he's out here and like we see him?
Yeah, perception checks.
Can I just do a perception check to just sort of see who has clocked us and what their reactions are?
Yeah.
It's a 24 for me. Any dwarves that I make eye contact with, I give them like a, what's up?
26.
11.
Okay. Fletcher, you're like keyed in on looking for one person in particular, so you don't really like register the whole crowd. You don't see well, you weren't given a description of Thornburrow, I don't think. So you wouldn't
Wasn't
know.
he-
Didn't we
there
meet
with
him?
Sawan?
I thought he was there.
You've never met this person.
All right then.
But
I thought he was there. Okay.
nope.
Is there anybody with a name tag that says Thornburrow on it?
No. But yeah, Cedric, you do. There are other dwarves in here, including you did talk to a dwarf the last time you were in here, so he's in here drinking with some others. And yeah, Nautia, you definitely see that like a handful of people, especially at like tables closer to the door, sort of look up when you enter, and they maybe look a little longer at you than, you know, you feel super comfortable about, but like they go back to what they were doing. And the bartender does look up when you come in as well. And your perception check was a what? A 26? Yeah. Good enough to see that the bartender has a snake draped around his neck, kind of like in the collar of his jacket.
Nice. Like alive?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh.
She's trying to get that. It's that autofocus thing, man. It's the worst.
No.
Focus. There we go.
There you are.
Yay.
Should we go ask at the bar?
Yeah, I think we should go ask at the bar.
All right. So are you all heading over to the bar?
Yes,
Go where
Naughty
they're
stick with
going.
us. Yep.
Alright.
Fletcher, I feel like you take point.
We'll walk up. I'll just say, good evening. We have some business to attend to, and we're wondering if a man named Thornburrow is here tonight.
And he's sort of like talking to you over his shoulders. He's, continuing to do things with drinks. Yeah, he's in, I think. You need him for something?
Yes. We have some business with him.
He kind of does a shrill whistle through his teeth, and someone sort of like by the the back area of the room, he sort of like gets their attention and says, "You get Thornburrow," and they sort of go back to whatever the lodging that's behind the bar part of the tavern. Can I help you with drinks in the meantime? I've seen you in here before, and he's looking at Cedric because you're the one that interacted with him last time.
Yes.
It's been a
That
little
is true.
while.
Yep, we've been out of town traveling. Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a local beer,
Yeah. We've got.
like an IPA.
Oh,
something
I'm
like that.
so glad. I was just about to suggest the IPA.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. For the two of you, hello.
Looking at Nautia.
Hi.
Hi. Drinks?
What's good?
Well, we've got the two specialty drinks. We've got hammer beer, and we've got this, the IPA. We've also got a selection of ale and mead and some wine and, all kinds of good stuff.
Well, if I just saw Cedric order the IPA, I will do that as well.
Awesome. Okay. And Fletcher?
I'll take your house red.
Okay, awesome.
Just to be really pretentious, like all
Grape
wine
juice.
people are.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's a very Fletcher move. I feel like
The house red. So he draws two of the IPAs from a cask, and he sort of like ducks under the bar and comes out with like a dusty wine bottle and sort of like, dust goes everywhere off the top of it, and he uncorks it and pours a glass for you and slides them across. That'll be 15 copper, or 1 silver, 5 copper.
Yep, I got that.
I throw it out. Yeah, I can throw down the money because I have the group money.
Sweet. Awesome.
That sounds good. I do that. Then in that case, I do that thing where I like grab my purse, and then I see that the Fletcher's going for his purse, and so all right.
Cool.
Like I was gonna cover it, but it's fine.
Awesome. All right. What are you doing now that you've got drinks?
Could we just wait here for Thornburg?
You're gonna wait at the bar?
Yeah, is that all right?
You're asking the bartender? This was me, the DM, asking like if you were waiting at the bar or like getting a table or something. But like there are seats at the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't like wade into the crowd just so there's no opportunities. Like we can just be up here at the bar.
I assume he'll be quick, right? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Are you drinking while you wait, or are you just hanging out?
Yeah, definitely. I took a big ol' sip off the top of my beer.
Awesome. Fortitude save.
I sip my wine and assume that his basically become like vinegar.
Not that it's become vinegar, but it was watered down, you think, with seawater?
Before it was bottled?
It's like a
I mean,
goza.
it was a partial bottle, right? Like, it's not like, he uncorked a brand new bottle for you. You asked for the house red, and he pulled up the red that they've been using. Yeah.
Red. That's their house red. A random red wine diluted with seawater.
Yep.
Yeah, I take a sip and I'm like, and I just like put it down on the counter.
Yeah.
Act like I'm still interested in it, but I'm gonna leave without drinking it.
Solid.
I take like a sniff and then like a small sip of the IPA.
Okay. Fortitude save.
Oh
I get a 14.
Cool. Awesome. Love that for you. Oh my god, 2? How many channel points do you have, my dude?
Oh man. All right.
What'd you get?
It like skidded and kept getting lower as it went. That's still an 18 though, because my fort save is +9.
All right, Nautia. It's kind of sour, a little bitter. It's bubbly, but I mean, it's fine, I guess. Cedric.
It tastes like grass.
Cedric, your face has gone numb.
There you go.
The I in IPA stands for illithid. Your face has gone numb.
Yeah, it's supposed to do that. It's supposed to taste like that.
I've been waiting for somebody to order that one. All right, so yeah, not long after you've, gotten your drinks and started drinking, the person that the bartender had whistled to, sort of like reappears and sort of like, does like the chin jet to the bartender, and he sort of points at the three of you, and you see a... So many tabs. You see sort of a middle-aged, nondescript-looking halfling man, brown hair to his shoulders. He's wearing a brown vest and trousers with a shirt. Not like super high-quality fancy clothing, but like respectable clothing. And he comes walking over to you. Hello. You asked for me?
Yes. Thornburrow, correct?
Yes. Hello. I'm Briffo Thornburrow.
We have some business to deal with you. We were directed to find you by Swan.
Oh, yes, perfect. Would you like to talk out here, or would you like to go someplace a little quieter?
I think I look at Cedric and I'm like,
I give you a look back, but my face is totally numb, so it's just blank. and then I shrug.
I just shake my head and I'm like, God damn it, Fletcher. And then I'm like, okay. I think because I'm like, I don't want to talk out here where people may find out like Kay's family's business. I'll be like, if we could step somewhere a little quieter to discuss, that would be wonderful.
Of course. There's another room with tables sort of behind this one. You can follow me. And he sort of wends his way back through the crowd and the tables. Do you follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll go.
So there's a secondary room, not quite as beat to hell as the first one. I didn't really describe it very much for Nautia here, but the main bar room, the floor is real janky. It's very sticky. It smells like a lot of smells in there. This room is
what I would expect for a dive bar
exactly.
on a wharf, basically, right?
Yep, yeah. It's pretty gross. But this sort of like secondary room obviously doesn't see as much use, so it's, relatively cleaner. I mean, it's still like all of this looks like it was built broken. But, I mean, there are some tables in here, still with mismatched chairs, just like in the main room. And there's, like, one group of people at a table on one side of the room, like, playing cards, but it's a lot quieter in here than it was in the main area. So Thornburrow sits down at a table kind of, opposite, away from the people playing cards, and says, yes, so you said Swan sent you. What are your names?
I sit down at the table and I'm like, I'm Cedric.
Cedric, in case you couldn't understand him.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Fletcher, and this is Nautia. We're actually here on behalf of Jay Prowell and the Prowell family. There's a debt for Hudson Green to Swan.
Yes, that.
There was a whole. I'm sure Swan filled you in. There was a whole.
Yes.
A whole thing that happened.
Yes, it's you've been gone for quite a while.
We were gone for longer than we had intended, but we we had basically
They fixed
found
the river.
more we needed to tend to while we were out, and it delayed us.
I see. We were under the impression that perhaps you had met some terrible end on your journey, but it's nice to see that that is not the case. So yes, you were the signatories on the contract, and you're here with, I assume, a delivery?
Yes, and I pull out the bird I have, and then I guess just gesture to the two of them to get out their stuff.
All right. So he takes a look at all of the stuff, sort of inspects.
3 birds as previously discussed and 42 red feathers.
42 red feathers. Okay.
No, I think 44
Oh, that's right, because there's the 2
that he fixed.
Mended.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
44 and a half.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so he takes a look at everything, like, sort of like fans all the feathers out on the table to take a look at them, like looks at the birds, notices the holes in the one, and sort of like takes a minute just to look at everything. Are you guys doing anything while he looks, or are you just waiting?
I'm keeping my head on a swivel. Like, not super obviously, but just kind of...
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Watching the doorway we came through, making sure everything's okay where we are so we can get out.
Yeah. I mean, so if you're doing that, like, you notice the people playing cards are playing cards. You can hear and see, because there's like a door on this room, like you can hear and see people walking back and forth in the hall. Because again, it's a pub. It's got multiple rooms for, like rooms to rent, like a hotel as well. So like there's a lot of stuff going on, especially because it's evening, and it's also, I believe, the equivalent of Saturday. Anyway, yeah. So that's what all is happening while he inspects what you've brought, and then eventually he's like, oh well, these are indeed the red parrots that we were asking for. They're very interesting looking, a very beautiful red. So for this one, and he sort of like puts like one finger on the parrot that has some holes in it. And he's like, for this one, I would be happy to offer 35 gold off of the debt. And for these 2, I would be happy to offer 45 each. Is that acceptable to you?
What's our total debt?
28,000?
Is there any the feathers? Is there any value to the feathers, or were you looking for just the birds?
Oh yes, no. There's absolutely value to the feathers. I would be happy to give you 4 silver apiece for the feathers. They're absolutely useful.
I feel like this was perhaps not the best use of our time to pay down this debt.
Yeah, I'm guessing you have perhaps other things we can do to pay down the debt that maybe would yield more money off of the debt. From what we saw in the jungle, there's probably not enough birds in the jungle to pay off the debt at that rate.
No, that's very astute of you. Since this was your first outing, I suppose, it was kind of a test. So as new employees, we'd like to give everyone sort of something easy to start with, to see how you do. You didn't do it very fast, but you did deliver what we asked for. So if you want to keep paying off your debt, I do have other things that I would love for you to fetch, but you kind of need to do it a little faster in the future, because otherwise there could be consequences, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe faster in the future would be good, but yes, I do have other things that I can ask you to bring.
That real casual threat he just threw out there.
Hey, Sheryl, looking at this guy as he threatens us, do I get a sense of like, how tough does he look?
Like,
do I find him intimidating?
I mean, I described him for you. Are you trying to do like a sense motive, or are you just like physical
I wanna,
description?
Like I want to know if I could take him in a fight or not.
Oh, I mean, he's a halfling, so he's, maybe a little bit shorter than you. Seems very mild-mannered. Like, he's wearing clothes that don't hide anything, so it's not like he's, like, built and, hiding under a baggy shirt or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yes. If there are higher yielding tasks we can take on now, I think that would certainly be of interest to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So my sources tell me that there's a volcano on this continent. Would you know anything about that?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, well then.
We've seen it from very far away.
Oh, well, it's nice to hear.
Well, one of us. I look at Nautia and I'm like, one of us has at least.
I think, like, when you indicate her, that's the first time that he really, like, registers her, because she hasn't said anything. And, like, are you a friend of theirs? I'm sorry, why we didn't meet before.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. In any case, yes, if the story is true that there is, in fact, a volcano on this continent, we could be really lucky. Maybe there are fire bats there. Fire bats are really, really valuable. So if you could bring me some of those, he looks down at the bird with the holes in it again. More intact is good. I would be very happy to give you good value for those.
I think probably the mistake we made during this arrangement was not clarifying what good value is. So if you could be very specific about what good value might mean, that would probably be helpful.
Oh, of course. I mean, as you probably expect, don't mean to presume, but I'm sure that you are a person who knows quite a bit about the value of certain materials. Things do vary a bit in their worth based on their condition and other factors, including market pressures. But the fire bats are worth quite a bit more than these birds if we are able to obtain them.
And you want whole bats completely unharmed, or are you looking for their wings, their teeth?
The whole body, and dead, please, because they're very dangerous alive, so I've heard. So
how much does Nautia know about fire bats? Can I?
Lots of those on the elemental plane of water.
I was gonna say, you got like knowledge planes for me, or knowledge arcana?
It's just like, is that something I would know anything at all about?
Yeah, I was planning on processing this more afterwards.
Okay.
I got that knowledge planes.
Yeah,
and knowledge arcana.
The thing that she would pipe up with then would be, well, like if we did this, it would take even longer. So, because it's really far away, it's a lot farther than we went.
That's absolutely true. If you are looking for a solution to the distance and time problem, I have an offer. So.
What would that be?
Well, so this is, I'm actually pretty proud of this. It's a very rare item, but I do have in my possession a special, are you familiar with a bag of holding?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I have a special bag of holding. It actually, it's a small one, but when you speak a magic phrase, the contents of the bag will be magically teleported to its partner. So I could give you that bag and then keep its partner in my possession, and you could just put in goods as you collect them and speak the magic phrase, and then they would be magically teleported here without you having to journey back and forth as often.
That's very convenient.
I guess
I think we'd be interested in that.
And the use of that would What increased our debt by how much?
You are very astute, friend. Yes, by another 2,500 gold. But that is the market value of a regular bag of holding, and this one is special. And you could use this as a bag of holding for whatever you wished, as long as you don't make a mistake and teleport your own belongings back to me. I suppose that would be rather unfortunate, but, you have use of a bag of holding while you are out on your adventures.
You said it's small. Does it still hold the same amount as a normal bag of holding?
Yes, so the smallest size bag of holding holds up to 250 pounds.
So this would hold that much, and in addition, also teleport?
Correct.
What is the current rate that you'd be paying for one of these bats?
The bats? If it was in pristine condition, I think I would be happy to pay or take off of the debt somewhere in the range of 80 to 100 gold per. The particular internal systems of the fire bats and the way they propel themselves are rather interesting, and there are lots of people who are interested in trying to use those components to make all manner of magical items and clockwork things, so...
Do you have is this your only job you have available, or do you currently have other tasks that we may be able to take on, or perhaps be accomplishing more than one thing at a time when we head out, risking our lives to send you these things that you want?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I mean, I don't adventure out into the continent myself. Of course, I don't think I'd be very good at that. But, I mean, as my sources let me know that there are valuable things out there, I can certainly put messages in the bag and send them to you. Also, I'm always in the market for things like precious metals, gems, and stones, or anything else interesting or unique. I have buyers all over the world who are collectors of interesting things, so if you found rare plants or animals, anything you thought could be useful to someone in some way, I would be happy to see them and, incorporate them into you paying off the debt. Also, if you encounter things like that and you wanted to inquire as to their potential value, you could, of course, put a note for me in the bag and send it to me, and I'd be able to figure out what it might be worth.
Did you send us stuff back?
Yes. They are partnered.
Interesting. Do you have it with you? Can I see how it works?
It's in my room, but yes, I could go get it if you wanted a demonstration.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how it works.
Of course. And he leaves you with the birds and the feathers and things on the table and heads back to his room, so he's gone for a moment.
Would we take this time to quickly discuss, be like, that still does not sound like a lot of money for something he said is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like between Nautia, I can't remember how much we filled you in on, but basically these people concocted a scheme, and then in exchange for but in exchange for not doing bad things, they're blackmailing us. So I mean, between paying off the debt and killing these people, I want to kill them. They're bad people. They deserve to die.
Well, at the moment, he's offering us a magic bag that lets us send rare and potentially dangerous things right back to him.
Yeah, I like that your mind went to the same place that my mind went to.
Perhaps the bats quite aren't so dead when we send them to him.
Yeah,
I mean,
and perhaps they come through
things
with a couple of
really
explosive things.
That we could send them.
But we also don't know how many people are actually in this group that work for Sawan, and we could end up with many, many, many people after us on the lookout, potentially not able to even come back into this town, and perhaps not even be able to leave if they have infiltrated the fort or the navy.
I mean, I don't think trying to take these guys on directly sounds like a good idea.
No. And I don't think killing this guy is going to accomplish anything.
No.
No, it'll just make someone like that. No.
But I think
Clearly a middle manager.
right. But I think our
he's
end goal
making threats
shouldn't.
that aren't him.
But I think our end goal is not paying off this debt.
Well, we'll see.
But are you guys so? If we're not going to pay it off, are you guys okay with taking on a little bit more?
Certainly make that part of it a lot easier, Maybe we could ask him to send notes back to Case.
Well, Cedric,
Sure.
if we take that, and if we take the bag and never pay anything off, and we have the bag with us, they have the other bag and can send just as horrible things to us in our sleep, and they make us blow up, and et cetera, et cetera.
True.
Well, you can lose the bag.
I think we stay on their good side as long as we can. Right?
So accept this job.
I think we accept the job, but we'll need to talk to Kay before we decide whether or not we're going to.
Nautia, you can see Thornburrow is rounding the corner.
Comes.
All right.
We should definitely check in with Kay first. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will put one of the birds into this bag, and you can hold this one. So he hands Cedric one of these tubes that just looks like a bag, not even that big. And then he puts the bird in the bag, and he holds it closed and says, "Make a trade," and then sort of like nods to you. And if you open the bag, the bird is now in that bag.
I pulled the bird out.
See? Isn't
Does it
that
look
wonderful?
Okay? It looks the same way.
Cheryl, what do I have any sense of the idea of the value of a 250-pound, the small bag of holding? Like, he said this is market value, but do I know if it's market value?
Praise check.
How much extra was it? Did he say?
2,500.
He said it was the same 19.
Yeah, so a 250-pound bag of holding, like, brand new, unused, whatever, normally a normal one goes for 2,500. This one is special.
I'm not going to lie. Having carried those tents for 2 months, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. I put the bird back in the bag and say make a trade.
All right, and then
See if it works back
he
the other way.
opens his and pulls the bird out. Isn't that nice?
That's great.
I think add it to our tab.
Of course, yes. And you were happy with the values of the birds and the feathers that I gave you?
I don't know that happy is the word that I would use. But I guess we'll take it.
All right. Well, there you are. You have your bag out of the paired set, and I will take these things. He sort of starts, putting the birds and the feathers in the bag of holding that he has so he can take it back to his room. Is there anything else I can do for you all this evening? Any more questions about things you could send us or anything like that?
If you don't have any other items or jobs at the moment, we'd just be sure to send us a note whenever something comes along, and we can be keeping our eyes out for.
I absolutely will. Yes. Well, in that case, I'll take these back to my room and get them ready for shipment. But have a good evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. And he gets up and sort of nods to all of you and leaves.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's go back to the
Yeah.
marked bird.
Yeah, we should probably wait. Yeah, we'll talk at the marked bird.
As soon as we're outside, I sort of hold the bag out at arm's length like it smells bad.
Oh.
Can he?
Fletcher?
What is Nautia asking?
I think we're wondering if perhaps it has any alternate functions. Perhaps undisclosed alternate functions.
Hmm. Well, that's I mean, that's to do that is the spell that we've never like had the components or whatever to be able to do. That's like identify, I think. That we have lots of stuff we want to do that with. So if we can, while we're in town, if we can locate a place to get that service done, or can track down the components that I would be able to do it, we could work on that. But otherwise, currently, all I'd be able to do is like detect magic. We already know it's magical. I might be able to detect other kinds of auras, like if there's a different, like if there's some like other sinister, like necromantic energy about it or something. But we'd really need to be doing identify to really learn about if there's other functions to it.
Seems like a good plan for tomorrow.
And I think, I
Talk around
and I
it
think
too
I
much.
take the bag and like I take it from Nautia and I think I shove it down like in the bottom of my bag and put things on top of it. And I'm also like, and until we do that, I think we want to keep it also sort of packed away from us, because we don't know if it can potentially spy on us in some way, listen to us, transfer things.
That's what I was thinking.
So we probably want to be careful about it until we really know.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
All right. So you are going where?
Mark Bird.
Okay. So while
Yeah.
you do that, let's swap back over to Kay, because she's been sitting very quietly. Cedric, your face is still numb and will be until an hour after you drank your illithid pale ale.
Then everything I said with
yep.
a funny voice.
But Kay, so you and your mom walk home, and I'm assuming you're just filling her in. As you do. So when you get home, the door goes into the kitchen. So you see that there are several baskets and trays on the table and counters covered in various cloths and towels. And a lot of these dishes and cloths on first glance, like you're like, we don't own those, do we?
Are those new?
In a sense, they were brought by, friends and neighbors as sort of care packages, I guess. But there's lots of food if you're hungry.
Are you okay?
I'm much better now.
Okay. Sure. I mean, I could definitely eat something that's like, not rat. Yeah, like our dwarf friend, he totally loved rat, and then he made all this weird jerky out of some weird antelope thing that we hunted, and then all of a sudden he had a situation, and
as you talk, she is putting things on a plate and putting that plate in in the oven to heat up food, and just she's listening, but she's just moving. And it is a heaping plate of food.
There's this weird beef jerky, antelope jerky stuff, and it was disgusting. You couldn't even chew through it. I was like, so it'll be nice to have some real food, not cooked over a fire, and not that I wasn't previously alive 30 seconds ago.
As you are doing all of this, you hear footsteps coming down the hall, and around the corner skid Z and Evie. And they just sort of stop and Kay!
Hi, how are you guys? She
I
pulls them into a big
was gonna say they're one on either side of you, yeah.
She kneels down to be. I mean, it's been so long. I'm so sorry, but how's it been?
Z looks up at you and Mom thought you were dead.
I mean, that is a very fair assumption I mean, I was only supposed to be gone for a week, but I didn't know. The world is really big outside of the town.
You went on adventures?
Yeah. Those books I'm always reading, I actually did one.
Oh my gosh. And Evie's just kind of see, she's okay.
But the river's all good now. Did you guys notice? Have you been catching any more fish? Mom, have you been selling any more fish? The river's okay now.
And she turns around yes, we had noticed, I think word started to spread through the town that things were getting better after they had been getting worse. So, You did wonderfully.
Well, I mean, like, we tried really hard. I don't think I actually told you what happened. Oh my god, Mom, this was so cool. So like when we got there was like this evil dwarf who was mining, right? And then Fletcher, the wizard one, he like said some cool stuff, and then a lightning bolt came out of his staff. I thought that was only in the books, and then it completely melted the entire inside of the mine, so the gross stuff that the dwarf was using like couldn't leak into the water anymore. And it was like really far away. That's why it took us so long to get there and then like find it, of course, and then also get back.
As you finish that and sort of turn your head, your father is standing in the doorway. He like just got back from the general store, and he just sort of like smiles and says, well, hey.
Hey! You didn't think I was dead, did you? You knew that I could do it.
He's got that, like, you know, your father's a fairly quiet person, but he has, like, this sparkle in his eyes. He looks over at your mom and, like, I had faith in you. You're a pretty capable kid.
Yeah, see? And I had, like, really capable friends. They really took care of me. I mean, we all kind of took care of each other, I guess.
So we can either just sort of say, oh, you had a nice evening with your family at home, or if there's anything specific you'd like to say or do.
We had a nice evening, and awesome. Kay is...
You have lots of... Your mom pushes so much food on you. And there's, like, everything, like... Yeah, the friends and neighbors, like, there's, like, chicken and rolls and cobbler and, you know, vegetables prepared a whole bunch of different ways, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff.
Kay is like pulling stuff out of her bag and being like, look at this shiny rock we found. Oh yeah, I found this javelin this one time and it was like so sparkly, it fell out of the ground, and then like I threw it at this huge tentacle monster thing that was like growing out of the rock, and it exploded into lightning. Can you believe that?
Z keeps like, he's like eating, and then you will get to a part in the story and his mouth will just like stay open with food like falling out of it. He's just enraptured by the story you're telling.
Who has the selfie picture?
That's a good question.
Those are on my notebook.
Okay.
I create those on pages in my book. I can create it on any paper, but they're just always in my notebook so far.
Well, it has to be the special wizard notebook paper, but yes, like you could do loose leaf of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like got up to this top of this volcano or like this giant mountain, and like we see like everything, and then like Fletcher has this amazing ability. He took a picture of us all from his mind and put it on a piece of paper. You guys have to see it. It's so cool. You won't believe how far we got. And she's like, and then we found this cool rock, and like plops it on the table.
So many cool rocks. Amazing. So you finish dinner and hang out with your family, and I assume eventually go to bed. You probably worn yourself out, and boy, isn't it nice to slip off your adventuring clothes and like put on some fresh new jammies and crawl into your bed. Your room is exactly how you left it.
So, question.
Yeah.
In all of your storytelling, do you mention the deaths?
Oh.
No, and I also don't mention the temples.
Excellent.
Oh. Do you mention fighting at all, or killing other things?
Yeah, like it, like briefly. She'll be like, "Oh my god, there's this boat, and it was like actually not a boat. That's the thing that is rude to you about." Anyway, we totally killed it. It was so fine and easy.
So fine and easy.
We did have this rolling
Elizabeth
struggle. Like
gets a roll on that. I just critted. Amazing.
It was really, this kind of stuff. They were like, so right after we came out of the mine, there were like these big camels, and they were like drooling and looked kind of weird. I tried to ride one, but it threw me off, and those were really hard. That did like a weird thing to us, but it's okay because like Cedric can like, I don't know, do something with some magic silver dust and then like cured us, so it was like totally fine. Like no big deal.
Everybody loves a recap episode. So you've snuggled down in your sheets and blown out your candle, and like just as you're like starting to close your eyes, you hear this like tapping on your window. Sounds like a handful of pebbles.
Kay like runs over. She just like assumes that it's Azzy, I guess, and opens the door or opens the window.
Yeah, and he's like already starting to like climb up the side of the building towards you.
Oh my god, Azzy, you have no idea.
Oh
Look at this
my
cool
god.
rock we found.
That's what you lead with?
She's kind of tired.
He's just like climbing up towards you like, oh my god, it's true. Hello.
Hi. I did the thing.
He just like clambers in the window like, you're actually back. What?
Yeah. I know, we went so far. We went on top of like a mountain and we met a mushroom with different fingers on different hands. It was crazy.
Where did you... Wow! Like, people all over the town were saying that you'd been, like, kidnapped by those guys you were hanging out with. Like, there was stories that they were, like, taking you into the wilderness for some sort of, like, pagan sacrifice or to sell in exchange for resources or something. It was crazy.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to tell Cedric. Like,
it was wild. I'm so glad you're okay.
She does tell him about the temples.
Oh,
she's like, guess what I found out? You can't tell my parents though.
What?
I'm like a celestial. Do you know what that means?
What?
It's like some crazy god people that
No way.
But we found all these temples and I'm the only one that can activate them and like talk to them and like.
So you're like like a god?
I mean, I don't think I'm a god. I mean, the fate of humanity is doomed if I'm the god that they send.
I mean, not arguing, but like, whoa.
But you know that like symbol on the back of my shoulder?
Yeah.
We went into these temples and there's those symbols on the floor, and if you stand at different pedestals and you like fill the troughs up with like random stuff, we feel like whoosh, you know? It's like phew.
Wow. That's kind of cool. We're like, I don't know, like kind of like opposites. That's wild. I love that.
Yeah.
Man. I'm just so glad you're safe. I was real worried. Like, your mom was real worried. Your dad, I mean, like,
I thought she was gonna kill me.
I mean, yeah. No, wow. Oh, man, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I mean, like, they've been having a rough time anyway. Like, you know, you went missing and then their store got robbed and whatever. So it's just like, it's been a whole thing. So I'm glad you're back. Yeah.
What? They didn't tell me about that. I was just too busy talking about myself, I guess. Oh, why wouldn't they tell me?
I mean, probably because they were like really happy to see you.
Oh man, what got stolen? From whom?
I don't know, but like, yeah, the store got robbed. I don't know. I hear lots of stuff out on the street, but like, yeah. So it's been a while, and lots of stuff has happened. But wow, I'm so glad you're safe. Everything's cool. Yeah. You're okay.
Yeah, everything's cool.
Yeah. And you're like part god. That's wild.
I mean, I don't think I'm part god, but like, okay, can I tell you this one thing? You can't tell my mom though. You can't tell anyone in my family. So like Cedric, the little dwarf guy who went with us, he like, so when we went to fight, she like recaps like what happened in the mine, and then he died. And then we like went into this other temple, and I was the only one who could activate the door, and we brought him back from the dead. But like, I was the only one that could talk and like activate the door. And then we like thought about him and like remembered cool things he said and like brought him back to the other side. And he was dead for like 3 days, like smelly dead. And then we just but then I casually mentioned that to someone because I didn't realize it was weird, right? And they're like, no one's brought anyone back from the dead since the loss.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, maybe people do, but that's like really like mostly just a story now. Like, that's really powerful magic. What?
And I activated it.
He just kind of like reaches out and just like kind of like runs his fingers down your arm a little bit. It was like, whoa, I'm friends with a god.
I mean, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, anything else you want to talk with him about, or you just chit chat?
No, just chit chat after like the whole temple thing. She like will like briefly mention Lucanus and like his sacrifice and.
Yeah. All right. We'll cut back to the group headed to the Marked Bird. It's kind of late at night now. But you head back to the familiar tavern with the bird-shaped sign above the door and stroll on in, and there's some people having dinner in there. It's much less raucous or busy than the Lux Rum was, but there's a dinner crowd in there, people sitting at the bar, people sitting at tables, and Leon is of course behind the bar because that's where he is. He runs this place pretty much by himself. So yeah.
Do you guys want to just turn in for the night? It's pretty late. We could all probably use some bathing and sleeping.
Yep. That's what I want. I want a beer that doesn't make my face numb and a bath. Probably at the same time. So
Sounds like a
A beer
Leon!
in the bath. Yes, awesome. Do you yell his name?
yeah.
All right, yeah. So you yell his name as you open the door and step in, and he sort of his head snaps up from whatever he was doing at the bar, and he's just like, "Oh, it is,
We're back.
It is you. Yes. I heard something about that. Hello.
Hey, we're not dead. Kay's not dead. This is our friend Nautia.
Hello.
We want rooms
All right.
and beers.
I can do that for you. Yes. A room is 5 silver a night. How many rooms would you like?
3.
All right.
Listen, I've been sharing a tent for the last 2 months. I want a room to myself.
All right. And he reaches down under the counter and starts getting out his book with the keys and stuff. And you wanted drinks. Do you also want food or?
Yes, 3 beds, 3 baths, 3 beers,
All right.
or whatever they want to drink.
Yeah, so he gets the keys out for you and sort of slides them across the bar and then, goes in the kitchen, fixes up plates and brings them out. Are you sitting at the bar or at a table or taking the food to your room?
Yeah.
A table.
Yeah, a table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just eat, drink,
Mm-hmm.
probably eat a second plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all good. Lots of delicious vegetables. He does sort of you see him clock as he walks past, because he's going around doing all sorts of things for people. You can see him clock that you're not eating the meat portion of your plate, Cedric, and then he just keeps going.
Oh, I would definitely be if you're not gonna eat that.
Oh yeah, it's all you. I pick up my plate and scrape it onto your plate.
Amazing.
Don't need to go to waste.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? You just eating and then heading to bed?
Yeah.
I think so.
Bath.
Yeah.
Top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Are there baths? Are there multiple baths or?
So there is he does have a bathing tub. It's something that it has to be drawn up because it's not in this time period slash aesthetic. People don't submerge themselves in water for a bath every day kind of thing. So normally you do spongy bath things in a little pan of water. But yeah, you can request a bath be drawn. It's a little bit extra money, probably another silver, but that can be done.
I feel like Cedric and Fletcher Rochambeau for who gets to go first.
I can go second. I don't care.
You want to bathe in Cedric's bathwater?
I'm assuming I'm paying for a new bath.
Oh, you can? Sure.
Yeah. The amount of Cedric that would be in that bathwater is unacceptable. It's been 2 months.
I mean, as you've informed me, you have been wet in the interim. You got bathed in the temple, I was told, and, so it's not all 2 months of grime, but yeah.
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 You have baths. You have beds. Nautia, how do you feel about this room to yourself? I feel like they might have to teach you how to use the key in the lock, maybe? I don't know if that's a thing that you know how to do. You can tell me.
Yeah, I don't feel like a lot of other places had, because, like, none of the other sort of cultures around had, like, really, like, set structures except maybe the Miriam.
Yeah, only some have built structures, yeah.
Everything is too big. Everything is way overbuilt. There's just so much weird shit. So, at some point, like, she gets into the room and, like, figures out the lock and, like, gets inside, and there's a little bit of just sort of sitting and staring at the giantness of it all, and sort of curling up in the bed kind of weirdly, and if it's not comfortable enough, she will figure out a way to rig up the hammock.
I was gonna ask, like, do you, like, turn down the covers and, like, get in between the sheets? Are you just, like, curling up on top, like...
Yeah, I feel like there might be sort of a, like, pull the top layer blanket off at least and sort of nest in it maybe, but then just, yeah, because just everything's so weird and unfamiliar. I think finally she, like, pulls the bed over close enough to something else solid that she can, like, rig up the hammock and just sleep in that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's, like, a table of sorts in the room and the bed, so you could probably, I mean, it's not, like, nearly as sturdy as trees, but you could do that, yeah.
Yeah, this whole day has been so much, and she's been a pretty good sport about it, but at this point, she's just like, you got a magic bag from a weird guy, and, like, Kay's mom didn't kill her, so that was good, but oh my god, this place is exactly as much of a nightmare as it looked like from the outside, and now she's in it. And everyone's been looking at her weird.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, like, you're within these walls, like, I mean, you've slept inside walls at, like, you know, the temple by the Raptorians and stuff like that, but, like, this is, I don't know.
This
different,
room, because, like, those were, like, stone. They were, like, carved out of the mountain, and the Miriam, like, you know, their things were sort of built into the ground, and everyone else was, like, tents.
Yeah.
So this is
a room all to yourself, and, like, there's certainly noise in the city, and there's lots of different noises, but, like, somehow it feels like weirdly quieter than the jungle, or it's just so different, like, all of these.
Because there's none of the familiar sounds. There's no bugs. There's no rustling things.
And a lot of those sounds are more or less regular. You know, they have repetition somewhere in the pattern of the calls of the animals.
Like, there's some noise outside on the street.
Right. Yeah, but it'll be like, you know, a boom and then nothing. Or, you know, like the sound of a wagon, but it comes and goes and isn't regular for very long. Yeah.
Is there a window?
Yeah, it's, I believe... there is a window. It's got wooden shutters. So, like, if you opened the shutters, it would just be an opening.
Okay. How big is it? Is it, like, is it big enough that she could fit out it?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. If we're on the top floor, she may, like, crawl out at some point, sort of sit on the roof.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I mean, you can fly, so it's kind of completely not a problem.
Just kind of go up to the roof for a little bit and just, like, look at the sky and breathe deep for a minute, but then, like, ultimately go back inside to sleep.
I totally forgot in all of this, but it's always a thing for rangers and druids. What have you been doing with your bird?
I thought about it earlier and then I totally forgot to say anything. I think there would have been, like, when she went across the first time, she would have been like, stay with them, and then, like, sort of had her follow when they went over, and then just sort of like stay outside, just be, like, careful. So, like, maybe, like, she sort of pops the window open and sort of, like, sees the bird and, like, waves her over and, like, goes and hangs out with the bird for a little while, and then, like, when she goes back inside, she, like, leaves the window open so that bird can come in. I need to come up with a name for her.
The bird, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bird friend.
Yeah, I mean, you've been interacting. We haven't been like officially keeping track of this, but you've been interacting with her long enough that I think you would have taught her those tricks.
Yeah, I think my main concern at this point is just sort of like that she be safe, because this is all a lot, and these people are weirdly aggressive, so I don't want the bird getting hurt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing anything with this night, or are we ticking over to the next morning?
I think I sleep great.
You do. And while you sleep, you, sir, level up.
Yay!
Yay. Yay.
Hooray.
I feel like Kay doesn't really sleep at all, and it's just like catching up with Azzy the entire night.
Oh, yeah. He's happy to hang out. Yeah. I mean, like, every once in a while he'll stop and sort of, like, check by your door to see if there's light in the hallway kind of thing, because he doesn't want your parents to catch him in there. But, like, yeah.
So is Cedric back to level 5?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he's at? All right.
Yay. Worked off
It finally happened!
the death debt.
Well, sort of. But now everybody's halfway through level 5, and I'm just getting there.
It's fine. Whatever.
Hey, I'm still only 3.
Yes, but anyway.
I assume this is not World of Warcraft rules. I don't regain all of my hit points when I level up, I assume.
I mean, you've been hanging out for
weird.
Oh, yeah. I
we
mean,
just got done with a fight with a mimic earlier
true.
today, right?
Yeah, no, you don't. So you would still be at whatever, like your maximum has increased, but like you would still be, your total would be at whatever it was at, unless you like used the rest of your magic that night to heal yourself or whatever.
I would definitely be willing to, I would help you with that as well, because I was able to just heal by dunking myself in the river.
Mm-hmm.
I think I blew all of my magic healing me and Kay up to where we are now.
Okay.
So even when my max HP increases, my current HP does not increase in proportion or like along with that. Okay.
No.
All right. Cool.
But you do get 1 hit point per level for taking a nice rest in a bed.
Does that include? Do I level up at the beginning of that rest or at the end of that
yes,
rest?
You can have 5 hit points.
Yay! I'm at half health.
Yay!
Plus whatever Nautia is willing to heal me for.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out
how many
what I had.
How many healing spells did you have available? Yeah, you don't have to like roll for everything.
Yeah, it's 4, 3, and 1. I definitely use that.
What are you at, Cedric? Like, how much are you?
I'm at 16.
Out of?
What
was your like before you went to sleep number? 16 out of
33.
33. Okay.
Yeah, so I've got, so what I do have is I have the 3 magic acorns. So I can give you those, and those will replenish overnight, right?
Yep. So that's 3.
So that's 3.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I think I had a cure light wounds, which is just, or no, cure minor wounds, which is just 1.
Okay.
And then cure light wounds, which is now 1d8 plus 3. But I can remember where my d8s are. So 7.
Nice.
7 total?
Yeah, so 7 plus
Awesome.
the 3 acorns.
Plus the 1 cure minor wounds.
Plus
Yeah,
1 cure minor wounds.
that puts
So
me at
11.
27.
Cool.
So much better.
That's
Yeah.
better.
And then you'll sleep
Thank
and
you.
get the rest. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Having twice as many hit points and a bath, Cedric feels much better. Sleeps like a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor Kay is still down quite a bit, huh? But yeah.
But you had some home
And
cooking.
but she is not sleeping either.
Right, yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. Choices. Let me find my...
She's catching up with her friend.
I mean, yeah, important stuff. All right, well, in that case, we can tick over to the next day. It's almost ending time, so I'm gonna say we'll end here, and then we can start the next day fresh. That way we don't, like, start getting into something and then be like, oh gosh, we've run half an hour over because we were so into RP or whatever. They made it back to the city. Finally.
Yeah, finally. Oh my gosh.
I say finally like it's not my fault.
Yeah, and then you're like, there are consequences for not doing this faster.
Yeah, like now I feel like from now on we're gonna be like, we're going out and doing this one thing and turning around and going back, which is like so inefficient. But, like,
No, that's why
you got the bag.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I feel like
that's
Kay
true.
is just going to just jump whatever. She's like, this rock is shiny, flop.
That's
That's
one way
true.
to
He
do it.
said he'll assess the value, so we could just send him anything, and it could be worth nothing. But
He'll just have a pile of crap.
That is absolutely what I had in mind. Because I was
Yeah.
just like... Because I'm not just thinking sending him back...
Literally
I mean,
animal poop.
there's a part of me
Send
that
that to him.
desperately wants to put one of those red birds alive in that bag. But also, just like, we can send him literal shit, like you said.
Yeah,
And be like,
Like, you send
no,
him, like-
this is rare, valuable shit.
yeah. You send him like the bird or a bat, and it's like unconscious, so it arrives, and it looks like it's dead, and then we could be like, "Oh, we thought it was dead because it arrived unconscious."
Fletcher can make an intelligence check.
I don't think alive things will survive a bag of holding. That's sort of the
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, if I would have just know that,
Yeah,
I'm also not really.
probably.
I'm not role playing right now. I'm just talking.
No worries. Yeah, but yeah, you would know that like live things do not survive bags of holding.
Yeah. But like some particularly weird stinky plant.
Yeah.
Nadia's already like going through her head of like all the stuff that's in the jungle that she can that an argument could be made for. This is rare. Also, it's gross.
Oh man, you're actually being like a mischievous method. That's
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. These two methods rolled up to her and were like, "You're boring now. What happened to you?" So she's now having a little bit of a
Was
like
that a
identity
challenge?
crisis. Yeah. Nah. Because that was, I don't know if you remember the first encounter with the birds on the way back when,
Yep.
like, they finally told her what this was for, and she was like, oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm so glad you made it home. You caught up with friends. You didn't go to jail because you had a good
Didn't.
plan for how to explain yourselves.
That went so much better
Nadia
than
was
I
very
thought.
polite.
I can take a note back. This will be fine.
There were lots of ways it could have gone, but that was pretty good.
I was really half expecting Mom to go off on me before we got everyone back. That's good.
I feel like K/Nancy paints her as a lot nastier than she actually is.
Yeah, no, she was just extremely.
Which,
oh
like,
my God.
teenage girl, but, like, you know.
My
Yeah.
mom is the worst. She's ruining my life.
Anyway.
You said all the plates of food on the table in the kitchen. I was just like, oh my God, did they have a funeral for her?
Not exactly, but it was kind of like
Yeah.
you know.
It was like a
I was
meal
expecting
train.
Abby
Families
to
in
roll in
crisis
and be like-
receive food from other families. That's a thing.
No,
Yeah.
I just had a moment of like, wait, is this just your daughter's missing food?
I
Or is
should
this
have
we
made
just
them have
had
a
a
funeral.
memorial service?
I should have. That would have been hilarious. Anyway. So thank you for hanging out in the chat. I promise I'll use the wild magic surges next time. I just wanted to get them back into the city this time without too many added complications. You know.
I may have been trying to think of a reason to cast a spell while we were in the room with
Cool.
Badman.
Awesome.
Just to make one of those go off.
Bad man. He's nice. He didn't do anything mean to you.
It was very sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Those birds are worth more.
Oh,
Being
man.
friendly does not mean he's good.
In any case, yeah, thanks for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for redeeming your channel points so that we can have chaos next time. Next time will be...
Wild magic in town. That'll be great.
Yeah. Next time will be February 27th. So the last Sunday of this month is when we'll be back. You can catch us here again. In the interim, we have a one-shot next Sunday, which is going to be super cool. 2 familiar faces, plus 2 new faces in that one shot. And then the week after that will be another nature chat. And then we'll be back with more Arda. So all kinds of good stuff here on Sundays. Please come and hang out and talk about science with us. It's what we like to do. Yeah, other than that, anybody else? Oh, there's, stay tuned to Nancy's and my social media, like in a month or 2. We've got something brewing. It's wild. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, other than that, anybody else got anything? Nope. Then we're gonna be done for now, and we'll pick it up at the end of the month. Thank you so much, and we will see you all later. Bye.
See you next time.